Okay, Sports Day in 3, 2, 1.
Swinging fly ball out to center. Backing up. Warning track wall is eaten. Gone! Bryce Terang, a 3-run homer. And the Brewers have opened it wide open.
I guess I still didn't know anything was going on, and then they were a little more excited than normal, so I was like, oh yeah, that's what happened. Don't ever think about it. I've heard about it a couple times, but it didn't really cross my mind.
That's amazing, and I'm super happy that I was behind the home plate, because I know that he's going to be a Hall of Fame after he's done his career. So it's super special. So that's impressive. That's pretty good for him.
Little swimmer to the right side. Worrell races over to cover. The throw doesn't get him. Worrell got to the bag in an argument here, and here comes Herzog amongst the other quartet. First base umpire is Denkinger, American League. Well, this is spring training all over again. Any ball to the right side, you get there as quick as you can. I think he tries to go for the ball. His argument is he gets the side of the bag. Looks like he's out.
Whitey did come out at the time and asked me about the play, and I said, no, I think I got it right. And up to that point that I walked into the hallway preceding the dressing room and asking Peter Uhoff, who was standing in front of our umpiring door, did I get that right? And he said, no, I don't think so.
Tatum, straight away, 2 for 1 here for the Celtics. Tatum steps to his left, tough follow away, 3! He's up to 25. It's now 4-on-4 again. Pietrangelo left. Marchessault shoots. He scores! It's a hat trick for Marchessault. The Knights have a 4-2 lead with 1:24 to go in the second period.
And welcome to Sports Day on 1590 KVGB 95.5 FM, Talk of the Town. Welcome to the Monday Sports Day show here on KVGB. Steve Webster with you. Also, Aaron Clark in, Mike Corson, and Mike Hesher here for the Monday program. Let's see, we've had a audible called here today on the show, so Jim Mazunas will be in. Jim Mazunas will be in on the program today, and Laz Lash will be talking with Mike Corson on
The Prowl.
On the Prowl, and Brent Biggs is going to join us today. They are leaving tomorrow to get ready for the Central Plains Region 6 tournament at X Stadium. So we're going to get Brent here just real quick, get a preview of that tournament going on. Starts on Wednesday. Barton's the number 2 seed. They've won 49 games on the season. That's a school record. See if they can get number 50 when they play at 4 o'clock coming up on Wednesday against KCK again in Wichita. So looking forward to that. Okay, before we get going on the sounds of the past 24 hours or so, it has been a dysfunctional morning here as we try to figure out schedules and stations, and Mike Hesher is the operations manager. All I'm going to do is just say go to greatbendpost.com, okay? That's the easiest way to do it, okay?
Thank you, because I was like, I don't have that memorized. All I know is I'm in Hoisington at 4 o'clock and Hoisington Beloit on 100.7 Eagle Country.
And baseball in Hoisington's going on. The Lady Cardinal softball, again, that Lions regional. Also the games at southeast of Saline. They had a lot more rain to the east of us. So
I had a person call in the Trading Post who was over in that area. They got over 2 inches of rain near Lions.
Yeah, they got an inch of rain east of Ellenwood. So, and, of course, we only had around a half inch, only 30 hundredths, according to Greg in Hoisington. So they're going to be able to play this afternoon. So it will be the Cardinals and Beloit, rematch of last year's game.
Beloit won 4-1.
Yes, you were there on the sideline.
Yes, I was. And then also Beloit and Hoisington meet a lot of times in regionals, in sub-state or whatever, and honestly, Beloit comes away with a lot of victories.
But you're determined today to change that.
Get it into the semifinals, which will be on Wednesday.
Okay, so go to greatbendpost.com. You can see the entire lineup of who's playing who, what time, and where. Or on what station, I should say, is what.
Dysfunctional was the
dysfunctional
best word.
morning. Yeah, it made my brain hurt, all this stuff this morning. All right, let's get to our sounds of the past 24 hours or so. Kansas City Royals wrapping up their game yet. Did you see that play?
Which one?
With the Little League play?
I did not know. That's the one they had 2 errors on?
Yes.
All I heard was the talking about it.
Yeah, it kind of summed up things.
I couldn't get past they scored twice, the Royals did, and each time they came back and scored whoever they played. I can't think of it.
The
now.
Brewers.
The Brewers came back and scored before the Royals that even got it out in the top of the next inning.
Well, yeah, it was 4-1 and then 7-run
Right.
inning. So the play-by-play call there from WTMJ in Milwaukee, Bryce Terang, 3-run homer that put him out in front. Royals, though, battled back. They're showing heart, Hesh, 9-6.
Well, it's easy to battle back when you're getting your butt kicked and nobody's expecting anything.
No. Someone said we were being too hard on the Royals. And I said, well, that's Hesher. It's not me. Okay? Zach Greinke. This goes back to Saturday's game. And I guess this is a stat. Those guys figure it out, but it is pretty impressive. Greinke became just the 5th pitcher in Major League history to strike out 1,000 different batters. And, of course, Zach in his, I saw him getting more excited than. I just can't wait until Zach Greinke goes into the Hall of Fame. What is his induction speech going to be like? Well, it was a good career.
Glad I could get on the mound and throw some pitches.
And he's the most, and he's the smartest, I
think it's really cool that he got to break that milestone with the Royals. Getting to see him come back, like we talked about a little bit early in the season, there was some speculation as to how productive, how productive he could be in a Royals uniform. But 1,000 batters in a career, that's immaculate.
1,000 different dudes.
Yeah.
They did say if he had pitched with somebody else for 2 years, he would have gotten it 2 years ago facing the Royals more times.
Well, I don't know. Again, that's not me. So
It's kind of hard to argue, actually.
Well, that's true. He joins Nolan Ryan, Randy Johnson, Greg Maddux, and Roger Clemens in accomplishing that feat. Salvador Perez saying it's pretty cool that he's going to be a Hall of Famer, and he's doing that, and he reaches that goal. Before the bullpen gave up the lead Saturday, Greinke had pitched 5 innings. He's now winless in his last 21 road starts. Since a 4-1 victory on August 13th of 2021 at Anaheim, he was with Houston. He was 0-11 with a 6.32 ERA in his previous 20 road starts.
So that call, they had Salvi Perez was behind the plate for that. Speaking of behind the plate, get him off the plate. With the new management, they've scooted him up so he can better frame pitches. He gets hit by a bat at least once a game. So he got hit by a bat, I think, Sunday. It's like, is it worth it to get the extra strike per 9 innings? No, scoot him back.
I could see him back there like 15 feet behind home plate.
I don't remember this happening in the last 10 years, but all of a sudden this year it's about once a game he gets whacked.
Okay. Oh, the Royals in San Diego tonight. Take on the Padres. We'll have it for you starting at 8 here on KVGB. Sad news over the weekend. Man who will always be linked to the Royals and Cardinals passed away. Don Deckinger passing away at the age of 86. That play-by-play call from Al Michaels, the decisive Game 6 of the 85 World Series. And then a really cool interview. If we have time at the end of this, it was he did with Bob Costas in 2009. And because he explains the whole thing, what he saw on the call and what happened and didn't happen. And, I mean, if you're an umpire, you're an official, and that happens, it's just your heart, your chest falls, and he was a good umpire. I mean, for some of the biggest games that he did, let's see, Jack Morris, a 10-inning shutout to beat Atlanta in the 1991 World Series. He worked the plate for the Bucky Dent game at Fenway Park between the Yankees. That's that playoff game. Nolan Ryan, 6 no-hitter, had a great career, except that's what he's going to always be known for. Ironically, his final game as a Major League umpire was at Kauffman Stadium, June 2nd, 1998. Don Deckinger passes away at the age of 86.
We forget that with the replay today, there's probably there's no 85 championship. if they had been able to replay that. So it was a huge call.
Right, and I saw. Let's see, in Bryce Harper got thrown out yesterday. Of course, that was doesn't go to do that with that, but and the manager of the Phillies got thrown out of the game because he was arguing balls and strikes. So aren't we there close with? We'll have no arguments in Major League Baseball soon.
Taking all the fun out.
So anyway, Don Deckinger, a very, very good umpire. Just a bad call at a bad time.
Oh, I'm sure that wasn't the only call he missed in his career.
No, of course.
It is the one will be remembered, yes.
You know, that's one thing that makes the because replay, as long as the games would always last, and then you'd throw replay on top of it, that was adding to the length of games. But now you don't mind replay as much because the game's going along so fast.
Do you think in certain circumstances replay could speed it up because it may, like, the amount of time that the manager and umpire are going to argue over the call, maybe the replay is a little bit quicker in some instances?
Can you imagine the replay in 1985? It would take. There's no digital. It would have been on tape.
We got 34 lines of resolution to work with here, fellas. Let's see what we can't get out of it.
One camera angle on a VHS.
Well, actually, they had two. And it was, the second one was even worse. But anyway, replay would have taken care of that. Okay, NBA playoffs yesterday. How about Jason Tatum? 51 is what he had. And that was a close game, that three-pointer that he hit, 55-52. That was right at the end of the first half. That was the first NBA game I've probably watched since, I don't remember the last time.
It was a heck
because my fantasy baseball team was getting drubbed by the Collier Chitwin, so there was no reason to watch any fantasy baseball, so I turned it over. And I thought, NBA basketball is pretty good when they try.
Yeah,
and they're not all shooting three-point shots. I mean, tell me about this Celtics team. They running pick and rolls and doing things like that. It was, and they just blew Philadelphia out of the tub in that third quarter. Holy smokes!
You're burying the lead. What's a Chitwin?
It's a bear.
Wow.
And
it's. Yeah, look it up. It's a bear. I don't know why. I don't know if there's any bears out in Collier, but I'll check in next time I drive by on the interstate.
I believe that 51 points from Jason Tatum in that game is the most ever scored in a Game 7. So picked a heck of a game to tune into to sit down and watch. A little bit more on the NBA playoffs. The two teams that were in the play-in, now in the conference finals. The Lakers were one of the first seeds out, had to play in the play-in tournament, as well as the Miami Heat. Both of those teams, Heat in the Eastern Conference Finals taking on the Celtics. Lakers in the Western Conference Finals taking on the Nuggets.
I'm not a LeBron James fan by any means, but, hats off. Everybody's talking about they were dead, and here they are. Now so are the Nuggets going to – can the Nuggets do this?
I don't think they will.
I don't think they will either. It's just not in this –
Yeah, I agree. Something about LeBron, they'll be intimidated or something, and they'll get beat. I don't know. I hope I'm wrong.
I always like the positive note.
I hope I'm wrong because I'm like you. I don't like LeBron either, but
hey, a Sports Day salute to LeBron James.
Big contingency if Jamal Murray can remain healthy, and he hasn't been as good. Like in the first round, he was lighting it up. He was a little more hit or miss in the second round, but if he can be contributing throughout the series against the Lakers, Nuggets should stand a chance.
Okay, good tidbit. Just don't take the fact that I watched some of the NBA game yesterday just to take off. Okay, I'm coming back here bits and pieces. Okay, and the call. And I don't have my sheet on that. Here, you can tell me.
We better listen again.
It's now 4-on-4 again. Pietrangelo left. Marchessault shoots. He scores! It's a hat trick for Marchessault. The Knights have a 4-2 lead with 1:24 to go in the second period. It's the second playoff hat trick for Jonathan Marchessault.
Okay, Vegas beats Edmonton 5-2. Marchessault with a hat trick. He scored all three of the goals in one period. So Vegas is on. Tonight, Game 7. Seattle at Dallas.
NHL keeps beating out all of its all-stars. It's going to be tougher to watch those games late in the playoffs.
That's Game 7, man.
Another Western Conference Finals without Connor McDavid. Another Stanley Cup playoff, or another Stanley Cup final rather, without Connor McDavid. Unfortunate to see, but Marshall's 2 hat tricks in the playoffs so far. Golden Knights did well, but I was hoping to see the Oilers go a little further. Got to get some goalie support behind the offense and power play.
Yeah, I watched most of that series. Couldn't name a player on Las Vegas. That's how exciting they are. So I was obviously going for Edmonton.
What's number 24?
Then
Juvalowski, I think.
How about the Kraken? They forced in Game 7, just their second year of existence, and already vying for a spot in Western Conference Stanley
Vegas
Cup
did,
final.
you know?
Yeah, Vegas, another.
Okay, so you were asking what a chipwin is. It's like a Native American name for a bear. Is all I can tell, because it is a bear. So what's a kraken?
It's a mythical sea creature, is it not?
Yeah, it's like a big squid, I think. Like, but maybe a little more, more tentacles. They have a great like in their logo. It has like an S with little like octopus arm, like little suction cups.
So you go to the liquor store, there's a rum bottle with Kraken on it.
Yeah.
You'll find out what a Kraken is. Gets more legs the more you drink.
I mean, exactly. You drink enough and you find out what a Kraken is.
Oh, perfect. So what else happened over the weekend?
Lady Panther swim team, WAC champions. So if you go to Great Bend Post and check out that story, I'm calling inflation. All the track teams, you got 10, 8, 6, 2, 4, whatever.
Right.
They score a ton of points. So Great Bend, I think all 3 relay teams won, and then they had a second team that placed third. But when Great Bend and Garden City were the only teams over 500, but when you start looking at the point difference, a 7th place swimmer could have accounted for most of those points, because I think they're getting 14 points. So when it was that close, it took a true team effort, but I know that was a big one for the girls, and they got it done.
That's what they wanted to do. So how many years out of how many years now?
So I think they had a run of 17 that was ended 2 years ago. They got it back last year. Now they're back to defending. What's that?
19
out of 19? Or
19 of 20 maybe?
Yeah, 19 out of 20. That's pretty good.
Still a nice run.
Okay, so we do have baseball coming up today. Hesh, what do you think?
I'm gonna go with Hoisington. I'm gonna be a homer. They get it done at home today.
Okay.
Even though it is Beloit, and they seem to have a mental thing against.
Okay, and if they
or I have a mental thing.
If they win, then the semifinals and championship game would be on Wednesday.
Correct.
Okay, all right. And all the softball moves to tomorrow again. If you want to find out who's playing who, where, and what station, go to greatbendpost.com. And you're in action tomorrow.
Yep, we got Great Bend Panther baseball underway tomorrow, taking on Hayes, familiar opponent. Both Great Bend Panther baseball and softball get to take on Hayes. Baseball goes in with an 11-9 record. Hayes also has an 11-9 record. In softball, it's a little bit, I believe, Great Bend's, can't remember Great Bend's softball's record off the top of my head right now, but I know facing a bit of a tougher contest against Hayes softball, but postseason
10 against 15-5, I believe.
15-5. It's a good Hayes softball squad. Great Bend played them 3 times this year. Couldn't get a win in any of those contests. Believe the closest game was a 5-0 competition in the final game of that series between Great Bend and Hayes. But
yeah, I like the baseball matchup. I haven't seen it, but if Capon is in there, Great Bend split with Hayes, pair of 1-run games, so those are winnable. And then they opened the season with Capon, which was not ranked at the time, but later became ranked. But one of those was a close game. So a little bit better matchup on the baseball side.
And, of course, it's regional baseball and softball time, so you look outside. And,
Drought's over.
The drought is over. We got to think. So you're going to be gone Wednesday, too. You won't be on the show that
will
day?
not be.
Okay, I've got to find out. We got to get everybody, because you may not be available either.
Correct. Maybe you and Corson.
I'll find something to do.
We got to go down to the field house.
Say, going to the field house.
Yeah, K-State's in town. So
no,
Jerome Tang's going to be here.
Are
Colin
we gonna
Klein's
be
going to
there?
be here.
Well,
I just have to be out of
We're
town.
going to do Sports Day down live at the field house.
I didn't have much
Plus
luck with Colin last time, so
Okay, we'll set you up.
Is Avery coming?
Wyatt Thompson's going to be there.
Will Howard?
I don't know who the whole list is yet, but we're going to be down there, so that's going to be a lot of fun coming up. And we'll start a little bit of fun things, 11:30. So make sure you go down, K-State fan. They're going to be here from 11:30 to 1. So it's kind of a meet and greet, and then they're off to another place. So head on down to the field house coming up on Wednesday. We'll take a break. We'll talk to Brent Biggs next.
If you need physical therapy, consider Advanced Therapy in Great Bend and Progressive Therapy in Larned and Hayes.
We had a lady that was having some severe back and hip pain, and we worked with her for about 6 to 7 weeks, and we were able to actually restore greater than 80% of her mobility, and we were able to keep her from actually needing that surgery for about 4 years.
You don't need to hurt. Physical therapy can help. Call Advanced or Progressive Therapy and Sports Medicine to explore your treatment options and get your life back.
Start a new career in the medical field with Barton Community College's Medical Assistant Program, now offered 100% online. Learn to record patient history, measure vital signs, and maintain medical records using improved virtual simulations. Join this growing field with a certificate or associate's degree from Barton. Study anywhere and get your hands-on clinical experience at a location close to you. Learn more at medassistant.bartoncccc.edu.
C&D Irrigation in St. John is your locally owned and operated Zematic dealer. That means they're right here, ready and available to assist you. Give your crops what they need, whether that's a new pivot or service work that needs done. Call C&D Irrigation today and keep your pivot up and running. Remember, they keep parts in stock for all brands of electric center pivots. C&D Irrigation in St. John. We'll put the water on, serving Stafford, Barton, and Pratt counties along with surrounding areas of central Kansas.
Central Kansas Catbackers, this is Wyatt Thompson. The Cats will be in Great Bend Wednesday, May 17th from 11:30 a.m. to 1 at the Fieldhouse at 2817 9th Street. Join National Coach of the Year Jerome Tang, football's Colin Klein, Alumni Association President Amy Button-Renz, student athletes, the K-State cheer team, and Willie the Wildcat. This free event is open to all K-State fans. For information, call Cody at 785-691-6933. See you May 17th at the Fieldhouse in Great Bend. Go Cats!
Welcome back. Sports Day on 1590 KVGB 95.5 FM. Postseason continues for the Barton Cougars as they get underway in Wichita coming up on Wednesday. They'll take on KCK at first round at X Stadium in Wichita. Joining us, the head coach of the Cougars, Brent Biggs. Coach, kind of a busy time right now. I know you're going to be there practicing tomorrow and getting ready for the Wednesday, but fun times right now. Probably feel the excitement in the air out there right now.
Oh yeah. You work all year to get to this moment, and some teams are nervous, some teams are uptight, but you just got to enjoy it, and it goes so fast, and it's definitely a different atmosphere.
It's amazing to look at the records in this tournament, Brent, because everybody, other than yourself and Johnson County, everybody's right around that same 37, 38 win mark. I guess you could call that a balanced Region 6 tournament.
Yeah, there was no upsets. The top 8 seeds won, and obviously we're having a really good year, and 49 wins, makes 37 or 38 not look like much, but any other year that's a really, really good year, and there's some really good teams in the Region 6, and it's going to be a wild tournament. We watched some of the Game 2s and Game 3s last week, online, and our Game 1 was pretty wild, and it would have been like the 10th wildest game of the whole first round. So it's going to be interesting for sure.
Yeah, and Lebec comes in there. I mean, they finished the season. I think they lost like 9 of the last 10 games, but, they're right there, and they gave your team a battle, jumped on top in Game 2, but you came back and put some runs together. So it wasn't just like a layup to take care of Lebec in the first 2 games that you won last week at Lawson Biggs Field.
No, not at all. And, they're really offensive. And, if you were to watch both teams play batting practice or take batting practice, you would have thought that Lebec was the 1 seed because it was impressive. But, and you look at the box score in Game 1 and, they got 19 hits to R9 and, walks. And it's almost like, well, how did we win that game? But, obviously we do some things right. And, the first round, I feel like there's almost more pressure in that first round game because you're expected to win and, you're at home and everything should align for you. And so it was kind of nice to, number one, obviously, make it to Wichita, but number two, get a little tested and show our guys, hey, it doesn't matter who we're playing. You better be ready to play, or you're going to be in the losers bracket pretty quick.
Okay, you're going to get started 4 o'clock against KCK, a team you took 2 of 3 from early in the season. From what you can tell, is kind of the same group. And tell me about KCK's season.
They're really well coached. They're really aggressive. Style of baseball, and they got some guys healthy, and they got on a roll, and they're a different team than we played early on, and they're going to be good. Their number one is one of the better arms in the league in terms of velocity wise, and they have some bullpen pieces and stuff too. And like I said, they won 50-some games last year, so their sophomore group really knows how to win and what it takes, and have had success at that level. So it'll be a really good opening round, and we expect a battle for sure.
Yeah, you talk about the first game. How about the first game of a double elimination 8-team tournament that's going to be spread over 4 days? I guess 5 if you have a second championship game on Sunday. I think it's an understatement, Brent, to say, boy, this first game's very important to win.
Yeah, the last time, obviously, we made a really deep run was 2018, and we won our first 2, and we got and then we lost the winners bracket final, and it felt like we had to play 100 games and arms, and we're throwing guys that haven't pitched. I can't imagine losing that first or second one, but it's definitely helps when you get off to a good start. And our pitching staff has been good, but you're going to ask them to do quite a bit if you lose that first or second round game. It's possible, but it is very important in this tournament to get off to a good start.
Yeah, and we saw, how long can your pitching depth go? We saw a 21-18 game in the first round contest. So that's one thing that I know you guys have liked about your team all year is that pitching depth. So hopefully that's going to be one of those things. To win a tournament like that, unless you run the table, you're going to have to go to some guys that maybe haven't been in some big situations this year. They've got to step up for you and be ready.
Yep. I always say, if you're going to make a run in the postseason, you're going to have 2 or 3 guys that are kind of unsung heroes that haven't done a ton for you during the year, but are going to have to really step up in the postseason. And we have some guys that, have had some limited roles and some limited innings that have the ability to kind of change the game and change the course of that thing. So you just got to play well, and you got to get good starts on the mound, and you're going to have to hit your way out of some games. And it just, the team that won't go away or doesn't quit are usually the team that make a long run. And, it says a lot about your team when, regardless of the situation, they're going to continue to fight. And, I think we got the group to do that.
And it's been so hectic here at the end of the school year, right? You come down, but now all that's out of the way. We got graduation out of the way, and now it's you can really just kind of focus on baseball 100% right now.
Yeah, I told them that this is what the big leagues are, guys. You don't have to go to school, you don't have to go to work. You just get to show up and do the baseball thing. So not a bad week for sure.
Okay, your feelings going into it. I guess kind of talk about your preparation. I know you're going to be working out at X Stadium tomorrow. That'll be pretty cool. And kind of take us through the timeline leading us up to 4 o'clock on Wednesday.
So we took yesterday off, just kind of get our minds right, and then we're going to practice today, lift and practice, similar to what we've done all year, and then, we'll get up to Wichita early tomorrow, and we'll practice and kind of get our feet wet, and we might go check out some of the early games on Wednesday, just so the guys can kind of get accustomed to it, and just try and make it as much like home and much like the regular season as we can, because a lot of guys, sometimes you make a big deal out of the postseason, and it's just, it's another game, and we try and stay in the routine and keep it as similar as we have all year to as much as we can. So that's what we're going to try to do. Now, I don't know if we're going to be able to accomplish that, but that's the goal.
What are your pitching plans going in for Game 1 and then Game 2 after that?
So we're gonna stay pretty much the same. Same rotation we've been on. David Stewart's going to start Game 1. Tegan Kane's going to start Game 2. And then beyond that, if those two give us a good start and we're able to be successful, we have a pretty good plan going forward. But if not, then that plan's going to change probably 50 different times throughout the course of the week. But as of right now, those two are pretty slated for Game 1 and Game 2.
Okay, here we go. postseason journey gets started. How you feeling right now?
I feel good. It's time to go. You know, let's get there. Let's work out, and you know, let's see. Because like I said, it's a long year baseball wise. I mean, there's one month off in December pretty much, but it's a long build up to 1 week. You know, and it's exciting, and I just want to see how we respond and how we play, and if we're ready to play on the big stage. And you know, I'm excited to watch them do it.
Game time. Brent, thanks a lot for joining us, and good luck this week.
Thank you.
Okay, Brent Biggs joining us here on Sports Day.
Hey everyone, this is Cole Wright, voice of the Barton Cougars. Attending sporting events for Barton Community College is great, but did you know you can support the athletic teams even further by getting involved with the Cougar Booster Club? The Boosters help with fundraising for equipment and facility upgrades to give Barton athletes every opportunity to keep succeeding at the regional and national levels. Join the Cougar Booster Club as an individual or business. Call 620-792-9377. Become a booster today. Go Cougars.
When you need to get rid of the pain, you want the best. You need to see Dr. Dan Quillen at Catalyst Therapy and Sports Rehab. Dr. Dan is Barton County's only board-certified clinical specialist in orthopedic physical therapy. No matter your age, when it hurts, he will help. Call Dan at 620-282-4825. That's 282-4825. Excellence-driven, unrivaled results. Catalyst Therapy and Sports Rehab. Inside the Fieldhouse at 9th and Madison and Great Bend.
A $1,500 sign-on bonus? Yeah, at Sunflower Diversified Services. A $1,500 sign-on bonus for new full-timers and $750 for part-timers. They offer hours to fit your schedule. Days, nights, weekends, full-time, mid-time, and part-time with compensation for experience. Go to sunflowerdiv.com/careers. Sunflower Diversified Services in Great Bend. Equal opportunity employer.
Hey everyone, Trey Bergen here with Ag 360 Insurance. As storm season approaches and with prices quickly rising, making sure you have enough coverage on your irrigation systems is very important. At Ag 360 Insurance, we have multiple carriers that offer competitive rates and great coverage. We'd appreciate an opportunity to earn your business. Feel free to stop by our office in St. John or give us a call at 620-549-3579. You can also check us out online at ag360insurance.com.
He's a veteran of high school and college sports coverage in Kansas. Sports Day presents the Great Bend Tribune's Jim Mizunas.
Jim Mizunas in Sports Day today on KVGB. I like your quote. It kind of sums things up. We've hashed this morning. I'm glad he's still here because you think, okay, we're going to get Hoisington in. That's good. Because you need to get that out. You brought up a good point because we're around here is just, okay, we need radio stations, right? if games get stacked up. But umpires is another thing.
Yeah, eventually, if everything gets rained out Monday, all those games roll over to Tuesday. And then all of a sudden, those Tuesday games are scheduled too. Because 5A, 6A tend to go Tuesday, Wednesday. So they're pretty well all booked. And I think if you're booked, you're probably – the ones that get postponed, they're the ones in dire jeopardy because if you're booked for Tuesday in May South, you're going to go to Tuesday at May South. You're not going to be you're the backup because this got rained out. No, I already got this spoken for. So the ones that get rained out, that's why they want to play them if they can, for sure.
Yeah, because I don't want to go over there. I mean, I'll come out, I'll umpire a game unless Hash is doing the play-by-play, and then he's going to be, he's always shouting at referees and officials.
Oh, I've seen some fans who could umpire from bleachers for sure.
Oh, from their lawn chair down the left field line. So, okay, baseball and softball coming up. Great Bend Panther baseball team. They take on it.
Baseball a shot. I mean, first of all, what's the irony of drawing Hayes both games? You got
exactly.
1 in 15 chance of playing any one team, Great Bend and Hayes. So that's perfect.
That was basketball, same way.
Basketball. You played them back-to-back games, and they lost, but man, it still was fun. They were great basketball games back-to-back, coming down to the last play of the game, and and Hayes setting an illegal screen for the game-winning shot. It's just so fun.
And then baseball.
Both tie games 4-4, both games into the 7th inning. You can't get better than that. Great Bend softball has a tremendous challenge because Hayes has such good pitching, but you never know. I mean, the advantage they've got is they got nothing to lose. They can just trot it on out there and just give it a shot. And when they've played their best, they've generally had one bad inning against Garden City or Hayes. If they can they can just not have that. They have a chance to pull an upset.
And just get that first game victory. I think in years past, there's a few games when the Lady Panthers, had a stronger team that they'd be looking pat. Okay, well, we've got Carroll if we get this, and then they get beat by Arc City or something like that. So
yeah, softball can be so unpredictable, and baseball can be too, because your pitcher can only go 105 pitches, so you can get that pitch count out there. Maybe you can get that first pitcher out of there. But Great Bend definitely has a shot on the baseball side too, because again, they played Hayes twice, and they played Capon twice. So yeah, that's a perfect situation. I'd much rather be with teams that I know what their lineup looks like. We know how to pitch them. I'd much rather have that.
Okay, so 3A baseball today. Hesch will have the call. Beloit and Hoisington at around 4s, and then Ellenwood against Smoky Valley at 6:30, and then Larned tomorrow. They play at Pratt against the Fighting Irish of Chapman. So the winner of that game will get either Pratt or Mulvane in the second game. What do you think of the Tribe's chances on the baseball diamond?
Yeah, Larned has played better as the season's gone along and performed at a higher level. They have a shot at the first game. They didn't play Pratt very well the first time, but they played them early in the season, so no doubt Larned's better. So, yeah, the key is you want to try and minimize your pitching that first game and get through that first game as easy as possible to maybe have 30 pitches from your best pitcher left in the second game and go from there. But, yeah, Larned's got an outside shot. I mean, it's definitely a huge underdog because Pratt won the league and beat Haven 2-0, 1-0. So, obviously, Pratt has some terrific pitching. And won the league for Central Kansas League.
Yeah, and you got Ellenwood, too. I mean,
Ellenwood's been what a year for Ellenwood. Their boys get their third straight Central Prairie League, and, of course, the Sterling jinx again in postseason. Their boys win the track meet, Central Prairie Track Champions, and baseball's best record ever, 13-7. So, yeah, what a year for Ellenwood sports on the boys' side.
Yep, they'll take on Smoky Valley. That's tonight at 6:30. As far as softball goes, that's all been moved to tomorrow. Ellsworth will play Ellenwood. This is at Lyons, and Hoiston plays Lyons. And then the winner of those two games play in the semifinals. Championship game will be on Wednesday. So
yeah, Lyons and where we live in northern Reno County, about 2 inches down there. So I wasn't surprised that Lyons had to postpone.
Oh yeah,
probably had about 2 inches.
Yeah, southeast of Saline. So that's where the other first round matchups were today. So there's your high school baseball and softball because it's regional track meet time. Always a big time for. And we talk about pressure. You want to get to the state, so you want to qualify for state first, and this will be when your track coach is trying to utilize and get as many qualified where they think they can score points at the state meet the following week.
Yeah, no doubt. The league meets are fun. You want to win the league meet, like Josiah Ball won 3 events for Hoisington, and obviously the Great Bend Panther girls get their third consecutive WAC championship. But the regional is really where the pressure's on. Top 4, you go to state, and you're part of that contingent on the bus going to Wichita. So, and Great Bend girls, they'll do fine. They'll get a lot of people, but you want to get as many qualifiers as possible. Who would have thought an 8th place finisher in the discus last year would win the state title, or win second place for Great Bend girls? They got that 1 point from Raleigh Duval, and that got them over the top for runner-up spot in 5A. So every qualifier and every point matters when you get to regional and state.
Yeah, of course, he's got all these point figures coming out. In fact, he took Andale's numbers and put them if they had competed in the Western Athletic Conference meet here.
They would have been very competitive.
Yeah, it would have been a heck of a meet too. So as he looks at it,
yeah, congratulations to Lyles Lashley, Coach of the Year, and Mackenzie Premer, Athlete of the Year on the girls' side. So yeah, tremendous effort, and Mackenzie is such a tremendous all-around athlete, and you see the Great Bend girls and boys, for that matter, competing in multiple sports. Emily Hall, also a great basketball player for the Panthers, she was WAC Swimmer of the Year. So, again, congratulations to those girls competing in multiple sports.
Yeah,
it's fun to see.
Yep, it is. And speaking of swimming, another title for the Great Bend girls.
Yeah, it's just it's wild how those points go. It's like,
how can you keep track?
I have no idea. It's like, what do you get for first? Oh, you get 40 points. What do you get for second? You get 34. It's just like,
what's wrong with 10 and 8?
Yeah, I have no idea. But it is crazy how swimming has a completely different upside down scoring system that definitely rewards you for depth, because the difference between first and second, when you only count however many they count, is only 6 points, but it's 40 to 34. That isn't that much difference. And then you're still getting multiple points for like fifth and sixth. So yeah, I'm sure whoever developed that has had a reason for it, but yeah, it's been a lot of fun to see the girls win 19 out of 20. I'll tell you, that's hard to do.
It's hard to believe we're here at the end of the season, isn't it?
Yeah, and it's one of it may be their best team they've ever brought to state, because their relays are getting tremendous times, and they've broken some school records, which isn't easy because the program's been out there for a number of years. So yeah, tremendous effort by Great Bend girls on the swimming side and their coaches, and they'll go to state this weekend.
You got anything with tennis?
Well, tennis went over to Wichita Saturday to watch the Ryan dynasty continue. It's just amazing, that family. Janae Ryan has 2 state titles, 2 runner-ups for Michael and Devin Ryan, 3 runners-up for Emily Ryan, now 2 runners-up for Peyton Ryan. So all the family members have been in state championship matches, and it's tough to beat Kansas City schools and Wichita schools in the state championship match. And Peyton's lost to the state champion 3 consecutive years, which is tremendous effort. And it's hard to equate tennis as one of those weird games where if you're the best player, the second best player, Peyton Ryan, he was hitting tennis balls back and forth and making tremendous shots. And then the other guy would make one extra play and get him cross court. Peyton Ryan played a tremendous match, and he still only won 3 games. He broke the service of the Kansas City Christian player 3 times, but unfortunately was never able to win his own service, so that's what ended up beating him. But Peyton, tremendous family, the Ryan family, and very gracious after coming so close, losing 1 match the last 2 years, 1 match this year, 1 match last year, and just losing in the state championship. So he'll have 1 more shot, so good luck to next year for Peyton Ryan and the Oilers.
Jim, appreciate it.
You're welcome.
Okay, enjoy all the... It's not a busy week for you, is it?
The weather cooperates.
Yeah, exactly. All right, we're going to take a break. We'll talk track and field. Laz Lashley coming up with On the Prowl with Mike Corson. That's next.
From the Mayo Money Management Studios, 1590 KVGB, Great Bend, and 95.5 FM K238CK, Hoisington.
At Next Tech Wireless, we know how important it is to stay connected. You can keep the whole family connected without breaking the bank. Now you can get up to 1, 2, 3, 4 lines for $100. And that's not all. Bring your number to us and get a $100 Visa gift card. Only at Next Tech Wireless, home on the range.
Barton Community College enrollment days are back. Registration is now available for all sessions through July 26th. Make the enrollment process fun, fast, and simple. Reserve your spot to get everything set up for the fall semester in just 1 day. Visit with an academic and financial advisor, enroll in classes, take a tour of campus, and more. Visit enroll.bartonccc.edu to sign up.
Sports Day presents On the Prowl with Mike Corson, an inside look at all the sports taking place at Great Bend High School.
Welcome back to Sports Day, 1590 KVGB 95.5 FM. Mike Corson, joined today by Panther track and field coach Laz Lashley. How you doing, Coach?
Doing good. Yourself, Mike?
It's Monday, to be determined. We'll go back to Thursday real quick. Obviously, a big week ahead for you guys, but girls were the WAC favorites. But to get it done, how nice to see that.
It was. We had a lot of girls step up, and they came in ranked, 6th, 7th, or 8th. That popped some surprise performances, and at our home track. So it was nice to see those girls step up.
And I'll start with this one just because it could be big coming down the stretch. I got to talk to Annalisa Collins at the Andale meet. She was wearing her Wellington red, and I asked her why she's not competing in that. But obviously some decisions to make with Mackenzie Premer heading into regionals. What's your regional lineup looking like with her?
For sure, the 4x8, the 4x4, and 300 hurdles. We're just debating on whether we're going to run the 4x1 or the short hurdles with her on the other one. So we'll see on that. I mean, she's really stepped up and run that 4x8. Split 2:23, the second time she's ever run it. So it's pretty good, and we're looking forward to that.
And I know Thursday I heard you say to Haley Peterson, that's the happiest you've been for a kid in a while. She cracked 50 seconds in the 300s. How nice to see her coming along like that.
It was good. She stepped it up. Nice second place finish in the short hurdles, and then huge PR in the 300 hurdles for us to go 1, 2, 3. So we're definitely excited about that.
And we'll switch over one of the names we always throw around. Addie Nicholson wins the WAC titles in the 16 and the 32. Then you had Marissa Boone. I think she cut some time. How big is that for those kids?
It is. And Marissa's finally rolling into shape after being injured during the off season, and so we're excited about that. And of course, that's Addie's first ever track WAC championship, so she was really excited to get 2 of them. So it was a good day for both of them.
Head over into the field. A couple javelin throwers, always expect them to do well as state placers, but what has Macy Noctegal done here in the last couple of weeks that she's really turned it on?
We switched her grip about 2 weeks ago, and ever since we switched that grip, she's been pulling a lot better and coming to the point a lot better and getting after it, getting back to her old self from 2 years ago. Kendall's been struggling a little bit, but she's starting to get it turned back around. I think by this week, she should Friday or Thursday, she should be good to go.
I will say about Kendall, she does have some bad throws in there, but somehow she always gets one to stick. As we know, you get all those chances. How big that she's, even in a struggle, she's still getting at least one good throw?
She's a competitor, so when she needs one, she finds the way to get it done.
Talking to Panther track and field coach Lyles Lashley. Boys side, some really tough throwers there. So Matthew Mater gets some points, but I'm guessing he was disappointed with some of especially his javelin throw.
He had a tough day, but it was a tough WAC competition, so it's not like he threw terrible. Just a nice, solid day, and just some kids stepped up and threw well. And but like I said, he competed, and this week we'll have to step it up to make it 3 years in a row to get to the state meet.
The big race on the boys' side was the 1600 run. I liken it to Steve Prefontaine and Lasse Viren. But New Chapel was going to be a problem coming in, and it was a great race. Even the score guy came out of the truck and said, these times are going to be really fast. And I said, this is the one we all wanted to see. How fun was that to watch?
It was fun. Obviously, we'd like to see Caden get the better side of that. But I think in the next 2 weeks, he's got some good things coming for him. And so I think his hard work's going to pay off. And the kid from Garden's a really good runner. So hats off to him on having a good day.
And Caden scored a lot of the team points, and Matthew Mater scored some points in the throws. Like anything else going into regionals where maybe a kid can sneak through?
Maybe our 4x8 without Caden on there can get through would probably be our best bet. And, a couple other things, but it's probably more likely to be slim pickings on the boys' side of getting a whole lot of people out.
And we'll talk about regionals real quick. So that is Thursday at May South. Always health is going to be an issue at this point, and we're seeing that on the boys' side. Especially on the girls' side, feel like everybody's pretty healthy?
For the most part. We've got a couple that are kind of banged up, so we'll see. The nice thing about the girls' side is we have some depth to get through some things, even without some people in there. So, hopefully they take advantage of that and we can roll.
And we always talk about the relays. I think we're speculating, so give us the lowdown. if your relay qualifies, you can run a whole new group of girls at state the next week?
Yeah, you can substitute with Rare. I mean, that's the nice thing about it is that with that and having the depth, especially like the 4x8 and the 4x4, we have plenty of depth. 4x1 kind of more slim pickings because, as you know, you're going to just be pure speed. You can definitely develop those 400, 800 kids a little bit easier than the 4x1 kids.
And one thing that's frustrating for me as a track ranker, I always don't like the regional times because they can be misleading. What's the mindset of the coaches and the kids? Is it literally save your energy, find the top 4, or are people kind of belting it out still?
Yeah, they're about now. We just, we try to get, we have kids that come in that region meet ranked 6th, 7th, 8th before, especially in the shorter races, because you never know what conditions people have run in, whether, hand time or FAT or what the wind was, did they line up on the wrong mark, blah, blah, blah. You just never know. And the timing system itself, sometimes you get a quicker timing system that it's not super accurate.
Coach, we will see you down there. Good luck to the boys and girls.
Thank you, Mike. Appreciate all you do.
More
Venture
Sports Day after
Corporation is
this.
a homegrown company with almost 50 years of experience in asphalt, paving, and construction. And they need equipment operators, mechanics, and CDL drivers. Venture offers many benefits, including 401k and Blue Cross Blue Shield health insurance. Call Leslie for all the details. Work for a family-owned and family-oriented company that is here today and will be here in the future. Venture Corporation, South Highway 281, Great Bend, is an equal opportunity employer.
If you're not filling with Cenex Premium Diesel, then you're not giving your fuel system the premium treatment. Cenex Roadmaster XL comes with a more complete additive package for a more complete burn, while restoring your power by up to 4.5% and your fuel economy by up to 5%. Typical number 2 diesel? I guess it covers the basics. Cenex Premium Diesel. Diesel that doesn't mess around.
Contact American Plains Co-op in Great Bend, your certified Cenex distributor today.
Welcome back, Sports Day here on 1590 KVGB 95.5 FM. Steve Webster, Mike Hesher, and Aaron Clark back with us here in studio. So, Hesh, everything's still on for baseball at Hoisington this afternoon, right? What's that?
Yes, it is correct. Everything is on. 4 o'clock is Hoisington, and then there's a second game, Ellenwood taking on another team at 6:30. I can't remember off the top of my head. Smoky Valley.
Yep. Okay, so.
Genius.
And softball all has been just basically moved to Tuesday.
Tuesday
okay.
and Wednesday, correct.
Okay, very good. All right, we started off the show because this always makes Hesher mad because he always thinks that I am sincere. No, Don Deckinger did not try to give the Royals the World Series.
Not on purpose, no.
No, he didn't. And, you feel Don Deckinger passing away at the age of 86. He had an interview with Bob Costas. This was in 2009, and it was really cool because he kind of talked about what set up the play and what he went through, why he made the call he did. So here's that interview, 2009, Don Deckinger with Bob Costas.
It's the nature of the job. It's a cliche, but it's true. If you do a good job, then scarcely anyone notices.
True.
No one virtually knows, Don, that you worked the plate, Game 7, 1991, one of the classic World Series games, Morris against Smoltz. You must have gotten most of them right because nobody complained.
I was there a long time.
People don't know that you worked that game. You had the plate in the Bucky Dent game in 78 at Fenway Park. But everybody knows that you had first base in 85 in Game 6 between the Cardinals and Royals. And even though Whitey Herzog said at the time, he was mad as could be, he said at the time, because he'd been in the American League, he's one of the best umpires in the game. Everybody wanted your head, except maybe in Kansas City.
Well, they were after it in St. Louis, but there again, you never know when that's going to happen. You just hope it doesn't happen during a World Series. Obviously, that did happen during a World Series. And as a person and an umpire, I look back on it, I think I couldn't have handled it any other way other than to watch the replay and find out that I missed the call, in which I truly admitted to. But there again, I'm a human being, and I can't get everything right, but I tried like hell to get everything right.
Let's take a look at that play. Not that you haven't seen it a million times, but let's take a look. George Orta's at the plate. The Cardinals have a 1-0 lead. It's the bottom of the ninth of Game 6. If they hold the lead, they win the series. Orta comes up. Todd Worrell is the pitcher. And you take it from here, Don.
Well, I came in hoping that I would get a foot race to the bag between the pitcher and the batter runner. And obviously that didn't happen because Clark came in, didn't get the ball out right away.
You can see right here that he's clearly out. The ball is in Clark's glove and Orta's in the air and nowhere near the bag.
Absolutely. But there again, I didn't have the 2 feet to watch which one got there first. I had a sound play, which during the 6th game of the World Series, you can't rely on sound because there's too much noise. And I looked up, saw him catch it. I looked down, saw his foot in the base, and I called him safe. I merely was out of position. But 95% of the time, I'm in the right position if the play is executed correctly.
Uberoth is the commissioner then, Peter Uberoth. You see him after the game, and what do you say to him?
Well, Whitey did come out at the time and asked me about the play, and I said, no, I think I got it right. And up to that point that I walked into the hallway preceding the dressing room and asking Peter Uberoth, who was standing in front of our umpiring door, did I get that right? And he said, no, I don't think so. And that was the first knowledge that I had that I missed the call. And it gives you a sick feeling, Bob. I mean, that's what you don't want to do, but that's what happened.
Every official or umpire's worst nightmare. Yes, exactly. Because it's a thing. Okay, if you're gonna miss a call, at least you make yourself feel better if you're in the right position, and you get in the right position because of the mechanics that you taught, and you go over and over again, and have him explain that his mechanics took him to what he thought was the right spot, but then because Clark bobbled the ball, it wasn't. And, yeah,
See,
I feel bad for him.
I've never heard that part about Clark bobbling the ball. Kind of got him into the wrong position. I've never heard that. So
I hadn't either.
That's interesting.
Yeah. That was okay, here's the weekend, okay? So the young Debbie, along with her young husband, we went to the Kansas City, or KU played Oklahoma State on Saturday, right? Okay. So we went to Memorial Stadium. Mike Norseth was the quarterback for the KU Jayhawks. Oh, wow. And Leslie O'Neal, he played at Oklahoma State? I don't know.
I believe he did, yeah.
Yeah, and KU played him a pretty good game, and went to a college football game at Lawrence. It was fun. Then he went to Kansas City. Checked in the motel. Yeah. Because we have tickets for the Denver Broncos game against the Chiefs the next day. Yeah, it was going on the same time earlier that afternoon on Sunday. Well, so I get to watch this game and I couldn't take it. I went out on the outside and listened to KMOX so I could hear Jack Buck. And they lost that game. And you knew that the next day it wasn't. And then, of course, the Chiefs got throttled by the Broncos. And then all the way home having to listen. Well, I didn't listen to that game very long on the way home because it got out of hand early. And the Royals blew them out 11-0. That was my fun weekend. God bless his soul, but man, I was so mad at Don Deckinger for so many years.
Tendency to go that way, yes.
That's what we wanted to talk about it so much that we could bury the hatchet.
Yeah,
I buried the hatchet and especially when you become, that's the worst nightmare. If you'd ever change it, change an outcome of a game because of a bad call. Especially if you were not in the right position to make that call.
On the biggest stage.
Oh, jeez.
And it's one thing if it's a call in the first inning, but a call in the ninth inning? Oh, my.
Yeah. You say the referee's prayer. Please, God, do not let me screw the result of this game up by something that I screw up.
I was a sideline judge in volleyball a couple times, and I was like, when he got the game point, I'm like, don't hit it over here.